Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to talk to you kind of about some skincare related myths. I want to call them basically things that you're being told, so that so that people are able to like market products to you and kind of like fool you into believing things which are actually not true. These are a lot of things that I have seen online. Also, at sometimes it's like marketing tactics. It's basically just different things, but these are all things that are actually not true and people are made to believe that are true. So yeah, I wanted to quickly talk to you about some of them you might have heard already, some of them you might have not heard. So yeah, let's dive right in and get started. But before we do, just make sure that you're subscribed to my channel if you're not already, because it'll mean the world to me if you subscribe and show your support. And also make sure that you hit on the bell button to watch more videos from me. I post 3 times a week, and by hitting on the bell button you'll get a notification every single time I post a new video, so that way you will get to know when I'm posting a new video. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's dive right in and get started and talk about some things that you might not know, maybe. So yeah, let's get started. Now, the first thing I feel like is a very common mistake that I have made a lot when I was a little younger, when I was just getting into skincare. And I've always had oily skin. I feel like ever since I was a teenager, I've had oily skin, I've had acne prone skin, and I always felt like, okay, I have oily skin, and to get rid of the oil, I have to like strip my skin as much as possible, and I have to get rid of the oil and make my skin like completely dry. And that is how I'm going to be able to like balance my skin. So I remember there were times in school, actually, like maybe like 8th 9th ish, where I would use the Himalaya purifying neem face wash, and I would not even use a moisturizer. Like I would just wash my face like maybe 3 or 4 times in a day, and I would not moisturize. And now that I think about it, I realize what a big mistake it was. So a lot of people who have oily skin feel like they should strip their skin, which is totally not true. You should of course make sure that you use a good cleanser and you get rid of all of the oil, like excess oil and gunk and sweat and all that yuckiness, but definitely make sure that you moisturize after, because when you do that you're basically balancing your skin. When you use a moisturizer on top, your skin is protected, your skin is hydrated, and a lot of times your sebaceous glands are producing excess oil because it's trying to overcompensate for the dryness that you have caused by washing your face and stripping your face of those oils. So that is the reason why your skin tends to get more and more oily. And no matter how many times you wash your face, if you don't moisturize after, that oiliness is never going to go, because your skin knows that there is no moisture around, there is no hydration and nourishment around, so I have to produce oil. So yeah, that's the reason a lot of our skin is oily. And I can tell you that with years of moisturizing, hydrating, and nourishing my skin in the proper way, I've noticed how much my oiliness has reduced, because now my skin doesn't need to produce all of that excess oil. It does still produce oil, but it produces a lot less oil now. So yeah, if you have oily skin, please don't strip your skin. Even if you do, make sure that you nourish right after, and your oiliness situation can probably improve a little long term. Keep in mind, long term. So yeah, that was the first thing. Moving on to the next thing, this I feel like is totally a marketing gimmick. I feel like so many products say about how they can make your pores smaller. Your pores do not increase or decrease in size based on the skincare products you use. You cannot ever change the size of your pores. The reason why some people have larger pores and other people have slightly smaller pores is again because of your sebaceous glands. People who have oilier skin, their skin tends to produce more oil because of the sebaceous glands. And because if you're not cleaning your pores from time to time, the oil that your sebaceous glands are producing might just remain stuck in the pores and might not like come out, because you're not cleaning it well, you're not cleansing it well. And when that oil tends to stay in the pores, the pore size tends to like increase a little bit because of that oil that is stuck in it, and that is why your pores tend to appear larger. On the other hand, people who have dry skin, their sebaceous glands don't produce as much oil, and that's the reason, because that oil is not present like in their pores around their face. That's the reason why their pores tend to appear smaller. So if you have more of like a larger pore situation, it's probably because you're not using the right cleanser. You need to use something that is not necessarily more drying, but is doing a better job of cleaning your pores. And if you feel like your cleanser is not doing a good job, then maybe use like a good clay mask, specifically target it on your T-zone and your nose and like areas where you have pores. You don't necessarily need to put it all over your face. And maybe if your cheeks are drier and you put it there, you may be trying to dry out the cheeks, which is not going to be a good situation overall. So focus on your T-zone. You can use BHAs because salicylic acid also does a very good job at like going deep inside your skin and like cleaning it really really well, and decongesting your pores and all of that stuff. So maybe you could look out into doing that as well. Also, another thing I want to clarify, since we're talking about pores, is that niacinamide is an ingredient that I've been getting into, and one of the claims that it has is that it helps to regulate the size of your pores. Now, it does not actually change the size of your pores. Let me just put that out there. What it basically does is that it regulates the sebum production. So when it's regulating the sebum production, what it does is that it's reducing your oiliness a little bit, and when that happens, automatically your pores are not going to be filled with oil. So if your pores are not going to be filled with oil, they're obviously going to appear a little bit smaller. So yeah, that was the whole discussion about pores. Moving on, next, another thing which you cannot change no matter what you do is your skin color. I feel like we've had this mentality, like, for a very very long time, that you can change your skin color because you want to be fair and you want to be accepted in society. And I feel like recently there has been so much that is going on about all of this, and I don't want to get too much into the debate. I just want to tell you that there is absolutely nothing that you can do to change your skin color. Your skin color is majorly genetics. If your parents have a slightly darker skin color, automatically those genes are going to come into you and you're going to be slightly more like deeper complected. And honestly, it doesn't matter. Like, your skin color literally does not matter. I mean, I don't know what I can say about it. The only thing I can say is that there's a difference between like your actual skin color, and if you're tanned, like, that's a different thing. Because I know for like 15 years of my life I never used a sunscreen, which is why I was extremely tanned. Like, if you look at pictures of me from ninth and 10th standard, I was so tanned because of all of those years of never ever using an SPF, which is why I was slightly more deeper complected than what I am right now. But my skin color right now, and if you see me as a child, like, it's the same color, okay? And then over the years, I think going to school and being outside in the sun so much caused me to definitely get tanned. And if that tan is what you want to get rid of, then there is obviously a lot of things that you can do. But if you are naturally that way, and if you have a slightly deeper complexion, it's okay, it's totally okay. Like, it doesn't matter, like, at all. So yeah, if you're watching this and you think that you need to become fair, I feel like there are so many videos online about how you can make yourself fair. And like, I hate the fact that it's got millions and millions and millions of views, because there are still people out there who want to make themselves fair. And I mean, like, you can ask anyone, you can Google about this online, and don't watch YouTube videos from people who are trying to tell you that you can make yourself fair. I don't know, it just makes me angry, and it's just okay. I think that's enough of ranting that I've done about that. I don't know what to tell you. I just want to tell you, be confident in what you are, and your success, your finding a suitable guy, being accepted in society. It's just a lot of things, but okay. I'm just gonna move on to the next topic, because I feel like if I start talking about this and if I keep ranting, I'm gonna repeat myself and I'm just gonna get more and more frustrated. Let's move on. The next thing is okay, this is one that I have believed for a very long time, and now I'm just like, why? I mean, it doesn't make sense. Like, it does not make sense to me. And it's that people tell you that if you want to have enhanced hair growth, like when it comes to your hair, like the hair on your head, you need to make sure that you're cutting off your split ends on a regular basis. And I'm just like, your hair grows from your scalp and your split ends are in the bottom. So, how does cutting your split ends help in hair growth here? Like, how? Can someone explain to me the science? Please. I mean, I would love to believe this, because then I would cut my hair like every 1 2 months, to have longer hair. Even though I have really long hair, but they're not as long as they were in school, and I kind of regret some mistakes I've made. But someone please explain to me the science. Please. I mean, I'm just like, how? Now, I get that you should chop off your ends every once in a while, and that is mainly because the hair in like the bottom region of our hair gets really dry, because our scalp, just like our face, tends to produce oil, and like the natural oils are replenishing your crown region of your hair, which is why you might have noticed a lot of times. I know this is not true for everyone, because there are people who have a drier scalp. I'm talking about people who have a normal to oily scalp. You might have noticed this, that the hair around your crown region is a lot more healthier than the hair towards the bottom, which is also why we tend to use our hair mask only on the bottom region, because that is what requires all of that nourishment, and the natural oils that your scalp is producing is going to nourish your whole crown region. But this hair growth related to split ends does not make sense to me. I mean, obviously, you should be chopping off any hair that is like super duper dry and damaged, and I mean, split ends again kind of makes your hair look frizzy and not so healthy. So, I'm not saying that chopping off split ends is bad, but how is split ends related to hair growth? I mean, I don't know. I really don't. So yeah, we're gonna move on from that and move on to our last point, which is facial oils are not meant for oily skin. Now, I will say that I feel like a lot of people who have oilier skin don't need facial oils. And another thing is that sometimes the tendency of facial oils to clog your pores is also possible, because facial oils is not a small concept, okay? It's a very broad concept. There are a lot of different kinds of facial oils, from jojoba to rosehip to argan to there are a lot. Okay, these are the only names I could think of right now, and I know some of these are good for you. Some of them can be comedogenic. There is basically a lot of discussion and debate, and there's a lot of information out there. Also, everyone's skin type is different. Not just oily skin in general, but even in oily skin, you have so many different categories, and like everyone's skin is different. So even though I am probably using a facial oil and I have oily skin, it's not necessary that that facial oil is also going to work for you if you have oily skin, obviously. Yeah, I will say that it's something that even me personally, I feel like I don't always use facial oils. I will use them when my skin tends to feel a little bit more dry, and I want to, nourish my skin and add some of that nourishment and hydration, etc. But I will not completely write off facial oils and say that if you have oily skin, you should not use facial oils whatsoever. Because if you feel like you want to add that extra like suppleness, hydration, if you want to do those facial massaging techniques, you need something on your skin, and you need to be using facial oils. Also, if the weather in the city that you're living in, or if you're traveling and you're traveling to a colder place and your skin is going to be more dry there, you're probably going to be needing facial oils. So if you have oily skin, don't completely write off facial oils. I feel like a lot of people say that you should, because certain facial oils can be comedogenic, but there are also a lot of other ones that are not comedogenic. And there is always a gray area, there's no black and white. So yeah, if you are told that you have oily skin, so should not use facial oils whatsoever, I would not agree with that person, and I would not listen to the person who's telling you that. So yeah, I just want to quickly add that here as well, because I feel like in this year I've been getting into facial oils a little bit more, and certain days they work for me, certain days I feel like it's really not necessary. So yeah, I mean, I like to have them as a part of my collection. I don't use them on a regular basis, and I'm gonna continue to keep sharing with you the ones that I am using, and you know, you can experiment, you can see if it's gonna work for you, if it's not gonna work for you. Do you need it, do you not need it? Now I'm clearly going around circles right now, so I'm gonna end this video right here. Thank you so much for watching. If there is anything else that you feel like you can add to this list, definitely let me know in the comment section down below. If you've heard of something that you feel like, is this really even true, like, does this make sense? Leave it in the comment section down below. If you have any inputs on these, I would definitely love to know that as well. I feel like some of them can get a little bit of a backlash, and I'm totally okay with that. I mean, not everyone has to agree on the same thing. There are a lot of these which I believed for a very, very long time. So, I mean, I'm not going to blame you. Um, I'm not going to say that if you're wrong. I mean, it's okay to have a difference of opinion, okay? So yeah, I'm gonna leave you with that. Thank you so, so, so much for watching. Again, before you leave the video, please make sure that you subscribe, because your support means everything to me. And I'm gonna end this video right here. Thank you so, so, so much for watching, you guys. Until next time, bye. Bye bye.